Oh, hey guys, welcome back to Too Far Gone Media. Makutsu here, and today we're going to take a look at another political refugee. And he does not sound at all like a refugee. He sounds like a proud ass Canadian. I mean, pride just coming out of his ears. But because he does have refugee status and he is an immigrant, he looks into forms and paperwork that normally your average Canadian wouldn't, because we're born here, right? So it's not really something, unless you want to look into foreign affairs of such nature. But he kind of breaks down what it is that he's going through right now, and it's quite disconcerting, and we need to be aware of this. So please, Canadians, open your eyes and listen, okay? Stop being fed by the goddamn legacy media. All they do is divide us and lie.
Any
and lie
videos
and
about
lie.
this subject, because I can guarantee you that you will be called racist, and I know that you are not. So the Emergencies Act, a regulation which was invoked by Justin Trudeau, bans protesters except for Indigenous or refugees. And then the regulation goes on and basically says people entering the country must not be entering the country in order to attend a protest. When you go further down and you scroll down on that regulation, it says subsection 1 does not apply to a person registered as an Indian under the Indian Act, B, a person who has been recognized as a convention refugee, the regulation states. So basically, if you're an Indian registered as an Indian under the Indian Act, or if you're a refugee, it does not apply to you. It's a very broad term, refugee. There is so many different subsections of what types of refugee that we have in Canada. And also, for your information, I am a refugee. I came here as a refugee. But then the subsection goes into a lot of details of, there are so many different things. But basically, generally, if you're a refugee, you don't, this doesn't apply to you, which is the mind-blowing part of this whole freaky part of this regulation, is that what the regulation do not do is explain why specific groups of people are exempt from this regulation. It doesn't tell you why that these people are exempt. I can tell you that these are speculations. The Indian people registered under the Indian Act is probably because, well, it's their land. They could go wherever they want, whatever they do. Then when it comes to refugees, it raises a question for me, and I would like to dig in deeper into this and find out why, because I have a little bit of information, and also I understand the situation. One of the possible reasons is that I sought asylum in Australia, and then I was brought to Canada by a group of Canadians because I could not protest in the country that I escaped from, and also I was basically about to get persecuted because of similar reasons. So if I were to join a protest in Canada and get arrested, I am basically getting arrested and detained for the same reasons that I fled my country for. Then if I were to be persecuted in Canada for the same reasons that happened to me in my country, and if I were to be facing the same problems, it essentially says that I do not have protection in Canada, and then Canada could get into trouble when it comes to UNHCR and humanitarian organizations who Canada is a signatory to. So I could technically escape Canada and go to another country and seek asylum, because Canada and the government is not able to provide me the protections that I need as a refugee. But then again, the reason that I am here is because of Canadian people who fought wars. They protested many hundreds of times in the past 200-300 years, and because they are the ones who have suffered and overcome so many difficulties in order to have those protections for everyone in this country. If I am going to receive more privileges than a Canadian citizen, there is a problem in there. It's a huge flaw. But then again, this needs to go to the Canadian Parliament, and there needs to be a Q&A to find out why a refugee can have more privileges when it comes to certain circumstances, especially like one like this, and not a Canadian citizen who helped this refugee to come to this country.
All right, well said, my friend. Thank you very much for that. So there you have it. Okay, and now this is going to be the third or fourth time I mention it, but this time there's actually a little bit of proof in the pudding there, and that is Jagmeet Singh agreed to follow through with all of this Emergencies Act bullshit with Justin Trudeau as long as he did not go after or put limitations on Indigenous people and Black Lives Matter. And there you go, right there it says very specifically that Indigenous people are not to be touched by this. So what they're literally doing is they're taking apart our civil rights. Our Charter of Rights is being dismantled, and it was created to prevent them from doing that. So we have a big problem here in Canada, people, and that's the government of Canada. And I'm almost starting to wonder, do we even need a government at all? How's that for questions? Yeah, let's have that discussion. Do we need a government at all? How are other countries doing without a government? Let's open up that discussion down below. This is Marc Couture for Too Far Gone Media. Be safe out there, my brothers and sisters. It's getting so much worse every day. And stay sexy, Canada. Ow, ow.